Football has always depended on belief, not just belief in results, not just belief in players, but belief in loyalty. Supporters grow up trusting that certain lines will never be crossed. Rivalries are built over generations, passed down like inheritance. They shape identity, they shape pride, they shape how communities see themselves. Because football, at its deepest level, is not about winning. It is about belonging. And when someone who represents that belonging walks away, especially toward the enemy, the reaction is never simple disappointment. It becomes something more personal. This is the story of Sol Campbell and the transfer that forced English football to confront a difficult truth about loyalty. Before his name became associated with betrayal, Sol Campbell represented hope. He came through Tottenham Hotspur's youth system at a time when the club searched desperately for stability. Spurs had history, tradition, and passionate supporters, but they lacked consistency at the highest level. Campbell's emergence offered something rare, a defender who looked capable of leading the club into the future. He was powerful without being reckless, calm without being passive. He understood positioning at a level that made the game appear slow around him. For a young center back in the Premier League, that intelligence was unusual. Tottenham fans saw more than potential. They saw leadership. As Campbell developed, his role in the team expanded. He wasn't just another academy product earning minutes. He became the foundation of Spurs' defense. His presence gave the team structure. His confidence spread to others. Eventually, he was given the captain's armband, and that mattered deeply. At Tottenham, the captain was more than a player. He symbolized continuity, responsibility, loyalty to supporters who measured their relationship with the club not in seasons, but in lifetimes. Campbell wore that responsibility with seriousness. He spoke about ambition, about wanting Tottenham to compete again at the highest level. His words reassured supporters who feared the club might drift away from relevance. They believed him. Football supporters often attach themselves emotionally to players who appear to understand their struggles. Campbell seemed to be one of those players. He grew with the club. He experienced defeats alongside them. He shared their frustrations. For Tottenham fans, that created trust. Trust that if Campbell ever left, it would be for reasons they could accept. Perhaps for a foreign league, perhaps at the end of his career, but never for Arsenal. Because Arsenal was not just another rival. Arsenal represented everything Tottenham supporters defined themselves against. The North London divide was not friendly competition. It was identity. It was territory. It was pride inherited across generations. Crossing that divide was unthinkable, especially for the captain. As the late 1990s turned into the early 2000s, English football was evolving. Financial power grew. Clubs began thinking more strategically. Success was no longer pursued gradually. It was engineered aggressively. Arsenal, under Arsène Wenger, were building a squad designed not just to compete, but to dominate. Wenger valued defenders who could contribute intellectually to the game, players who could build from the back, players who remained calm under pressure. Sol Campbell matched that philosophy perfectly. But Arsenal's interest in Campbell carried significance beyond footballing needs. Signing Tottenham's captain would send a message that reached far beyond tactics. It would signal power. As Campbell's contract with Tottenham neared its end, negotiations became tense. Publicly, discussions seemed routine. Privately, there were disagreements about the club's direction and ambition. Campbell expressed concern about Tottenham's ability to compete for major trophies. Supporters heard those words but assumed they were part of normal contract talks. They believed loyalty would ultimately outweigh uncertainty. After all, Campbell had repeatedly spoken about commitment. But football decisions are rarely driven by emotion alone. Careers are short. Opportunities appear without warning. And sometimes the desire to win becomes stronger than the desire to belong. In the summer of 2001, the announcement arrived with sudden clarity. Sol Campbell had signed for Arsenal on a free transfer. There was no gradual preparation for supporters, no rumors that softened the impact, just confirmation that Tottenham's captain had joined their greatest rival. Shock quickly transformed into anger, not because Campbell left, but because of where he went. For Tottenham fans, the move felt personal. It wasn't simply about strengthening Arsenal, it was about weakening Spurs emotionally. The captain they trusted had chosen the other side. The word betrayal appeared almost immediately, and once spoken, it stayed. Football supporters experience loyalty differently from players. Supporters invest their entire lives. Players invest a portion of their careers. That difference creates tension when decisions are made. From Campbell's perspective, the move offered a chance to compete for major honors. Arsenal were challenging for titles. Tottenham were rebuilding. The choice professionally made sense. But football does not operate purely on professional logic. Emotion defines memory, and supporters remembered the armband, the speeches, the sense of belonging they thought Campbell shared. That is why the reaction was so intense. Campbell's first return to White Hart Lane, wearing an Arsenal shirt, was charged with hostility. The atmosphere was heavy before kickoff. Every touch of the ball drew noise. Every movement was scrutinized. It was clear that forgiveness would not come easily. Some supporters saw the reaction as inevitable. Others believed it crossed into territory that revealed football's darker emotional side. But regardless of perspective, the hostility demonstrated how deeply supporters felt the wound. Campbell maintained composure. He rarely responded publicly. He continued playing with focus and discipline. That restraint was interpreted in different ways. To some, it showed professionalism. To others, it felt like indifference. At Arsenal, Campbell quickly justified Wenger's decision. He became a central figure in one of the Premier League's strongest defenses. His consistency and intelligence strengthened the team's structure. He played a key role in Arsenal's most successful period, including their historic unbeaten league campaign. On the pitch, the move delivered everything Campbell sought. Off the pitch, the emotional consequences remained unresolved. Because football legacies are not shaped only by success, they are shaped by memory. The transfer changed how English football viewed loyalty. Supporters became more cautious about believing declarations of commitment. They understood more clearly that careers are shaped by ambition, timing, and opportunity. The idea that certain rivalries were untouchable no longer felt certain. After Campbell, fans realized that even captains could cross divides once considered permanent, and that realization shifted expectations forever. Years later, Sol Campbell's legacy remains divided. At Arsenal, he is remembered for reliability, leadership, and contribution to success. Supporters respect the professionalism he brought to the club. At Tottenham, his name still carries emotional weight. For some, time has softened the anger. For others, the sense of betrayal remains unchanged. Football memory does not fade easily, because football is not experienced logically, it is experienced emotionally. Sol Campbell did not set out to become a symbol of betrayal. He made a decision based on his career, but that decision intersected with a rivalry so deeply rooted that it transformed perception permanently. His story reflects a broader truth about modern football. Loyalty is complicated. It exists, but it competes with ambition, opportunity, and professional reality. When those forces collide, someone always feels left behind. Football often celebrates moments of triumph, but it remembers moments of betrayal just as clearly. Because betrayal forces supporters to confront the limits of their belief. It challenges the idea that identity is shared equally between players and fans. Sol Campbell's transfer did not destroy football's sense of loyalty, but it exposed its fragility. And once exposed, that understanding never disappeared. Today, Campbell is recognized as one of the Premier League's most accomplished defenders. His achievements speak for themselves. His professionalism earned respect across the game. Yet his name will always carry two meanings depending on where it is spoken. In one part of North London, he is remembered for strength and success. In the other, he is remembered for a decision that changed how supporters view loyalty forever. This is the story of Sol Campbell, a player who crossed a line few dared to approach, and in doing so revealed a truth football supporters were never fully prepared to accept. Because football may forgive defeats, it may forgive mistakes. But when loyalty is questioned, memory lasts much longer than results. And some transfers are remembered not for what they achieved, but for what they changed forever.